A few inches of slick, deteriorating mud is often all that separates a heavy cargo truck from a fatal drop. Behind the wheel is a local driver coaxing a 20-year-old vehicle up the incline. In the back sits a massive haul of freshly harvested vegetables, highly perishable and ticking closer to rotting with every passing minute. This chart shows exactly why they take the risk. Geography isolates these high-altitude plateaus entirely. There are no freight trains piercing these mountains, and no airports for cargo planes. They are connected to the lowland valleys by one single winding path. This deteriorating thread is the region's only economic artery. If the road closes, goods stop flowing, and the villages above run out of money and food almost immediately. The drivers run against a strict biological clock. They have a few hours to transport their fresh produce down to the valley market. A delay means the cargo wilts, the buyer rejects it, and the driver swallows a total financial loss. Tourists might ride these routes looking for an extreme experience, but for the locals, gripping the steering wheel above a canyon is a mandatory daily calculation required to survive. The environment actively fights the vehicles. In the afternoon, tropical heat rises from the valleys and collides with the cold mountain air, creating a dense fog that instantly erases driver visibility. Then comes the water. Seasonal typhoons and heavy monsoons oversaturate the thin topsoil. The mountainside liquefies, triggering massive landslides that simply wash entire sections of the route away. When the earth isn't falling away, it becomes claustrophobic. The path forces drivers to hug tight corners carved into the cliff face, threading aging vehicles under thousands of tons of overhanging dark rock. There are no safety nets, leaving them completely exposed to crushing hazards. Keeping the traffic moving requires grueling manual labor. Local crews stand on the edge of the drops, shoveling wet gravel by hand and stacking stones to build temporary retaining walls where the earth has given way. The danger is so persistent that the workers have adapted their environment psychologically. They erect makeshift bamboo temples directly above the active roadworks, relying on prayer to protect them from the falling rocks. The highway operates as a living, constantly deteriorating organism. It stays open only through the relentless physical sacrifice of the people living on its edges. Desperate for arable land, local families cultivate crops on steep, illegal plots immediately bordering the pavement, tying their agricultural survival directly to the traffic. These farmers rely on the passing trucks to haul their yields. If drivers stop pulling over, the cliffside harvests rot on the stem and lose their entire financial value. And the trucks do stop. Breakdowns and avalanches frequently create massive blockages, trapping hundreds on the mountain passes for days. These gridlocks instantly spawn micromarkets. Villagers hike up steep slopes carrying bags of nuts and water, selling provisions window to stranded passengers. Further down the route, permanent outposts have anchored themselves to the rock. High-altitude cafes and small mechanics generate their sole income by catering to the endless, required stream of exhausted drivers. The highway serves a dual purpose. It functions as a transit route to the lowlands, while simultaneously acting as the physical marketplace and primary employer for the remote mountain population. After hours of gripping the wheel, the driver descends from the freezing high-altitude peaks and finally enters the bustling, smog-filled valley city. The gauntlet ends at the central market, where relief gives way to high-pressure haggling. The driver unloads their fresh cargo, fighting wholesalers to secure a payout of just pennies per kilo. This chart shows exactly where that money goes. The razor-thin profit immediately splits into 3 distinct streams: fuel and maintenance for the truck, seeds for the next harvest, and whatever is left over for the family's food and schooling. The entire equation is incredibly fragile. A single blown engine or snapped axle on the mountain forces the driver to spend the entire budget on repairs, wiping out next season's crop and the family's income instantly. The environment brutalizes the equipment. Drivers push their heavily loaded trucks until the stress results in catastrophic failures. Because towing is impossible, abandoned wrecks are never recovered, sitting as permanent monuments to the ultimate cost of a failed run. Despite the terrifying physical risks and the slimmest of profit margins, the driver will patch their vehicle and do it all over again tomorrow. They are locked into a cycle where navigating a deadly road is their only path.